Businesses in Kimberley are also cashing in ahead of the ANC's 108th anniversary celebration tomorrow. For more on this, we cross to our reporter Manqoba Mchunu, who's standing by for us. Manqoba, what's happening where you are?
Well, a very good afternoon to you, Nompu. Certainly, I can tell you that this town of Kimberley has been painted gold, green and black. I mean, on every street corner that you turn, you'll see an ANC flag, you'll see an ANC poster there. But of course, it doesn't translate to the streets of what we're seeing here on the streets. And I guess it maybe has to do something with the weather right now, which is quite hot at this time. You would expect it to be hot. It's January anyway. And of course, many people still retrieving and hopefully coming out on the streets a bit later on. Right now, as I can tell you, it's a bit empty. But I can tell you that there is a hive of activity around the town. You do see a lot of supporters of the ANC in and around shopping malls, as well as several establishments, restaurants, as well as bars around the city. So there has been a lot of influx of people who have come here in terms of that. Accommodation as well is one of the issues that, has also been taken up largely by those supporters. In fact, as I speak to you now, you can barely find accommodation now here in Kimberley. And that speaks to the high numbers of people that are expected here. 25,000 people expected to attend that January 8th statement tomorrow, as the ANC had promised, and of course even more expected to fill that overflow area that will be there. So it speaks to the volumes of people that are there. But looking with regards to the previous ones, where we've seen, for example, last year in Durban, the buzz, the number of ANC supporters there, I guess that's what we haven't seen here in Kimberley so far. But just to get a sense of how this is affecting the economy of Kimberley, I'm now joined by Sharon Stein, who is from the Northern Cape Business Chamber of Commerce. Sharon, thanks for your time. Sharon, are we seeing this translate into a boost into the economy for Kimberley?
Yes, good afternoon, thank you. I think this is a major boost for the Northern Cape. All the guest houses, the restaurants, they are doing exceptionally well. As a matter of fact, there is no accommodation available in Kimberley. The people are staying out of town. They're staying in Barkley, they're staying in Bloemfontein. So, yes, I think from Kimberley, as a capital city, we do lack accommodation, but the influx is absolutely amazing for business.
And then let's speak on the issue of, are you seeing this boosting businesses here in Kimberley? Have businesses been reporting that they've been benefiting or cashing in on this influx of ANC supporters for this statement?
I wouldn't put it that way. As I say, the restaurants, yes, the guest houses, yes. There's a lot of the shops where the people are going and they are visiting the shops. But I think most of this is... The visitors are coming for the ANC. They are coming to listen to Cyril Ramaphosa. They are not actually coming to do shopping in Kimberley. So I think as that aspect, it's doing well. People are saying yes, but I think we could have obviously got a lot more business-wise.
And with regards to smaller businesses, we know there are smaller businesses, the informal traders. What has been the sense from them with regards to, the events that are taking place and people coming in? Are people actually supporting small businesses?
I think this is the sad part, and it's a very good question. I find a lot of the business that has been happening at the moment is not being supported locally. Our local businesses, the small businesses especially, are not being used. And that is actually very sad for the province. This has been held in the province, but our local, we have the highest unemployment rate, and yet we are not using our own local people. The tenders and most of the stuff that was done was given to out of sight. So Kimberley local has not been supported to my liking as business as what it should have been done.
Looking at that issue, I mean, this is one of the issues that many of the communities that the president has visited have raised, the issue of unemployment. And really, you'll expect that, smaller businesses will be supported. Let's look in terms of the government side. Is there enough support for smaller businesses here in the Northern Cape?
Yes, I do believe there is. Unfortunately, the foreigners that are here, they I think are gaining more than our actual local SMMEs. I was reading this morning on a statement where some of the people were just saying, just go and put up your stalls at the ANC, at Tafellager, go and whatever, because they have not been asked. They have not even been spoken to and said, would you like to be part of this ANC event? Even if you come to business, we were not approached and even spoken to. If people ask me now what is happening, I got the program last night. So, I think that from a business perspective, whether it goes right down to SMMEs, they were not informed, they were not used. And that, again, can make the employment rate, I think, so much higher if they were given the opportunity to be part of this event.
What can be done, Sharon, going forward in terms of improving the levels of unemployment here in this region and getting more support for these businesses as well as smaller businesses?
All right, I think we need to go straight back to ground level, basically. Let's go back to our local municipality. Let's go back to our Premier's office. Even the parties, everything that is happening, the entertainment, as I say, is all basically coming from out of town, according to what we are hearing. So that, to me, if we want to cut the unemployment and we want to increase the employment rate in the Northern Cape, use the local employment. Use the local. We have got a university in Kimberley. Those guys all study. They get the best results. And what are they doing? They're leaving the province because there is nothing happening here. So I think what we need to say is government and Mr. President needs to have a look at the tenders. They need to look at the capacity that we have in the province and stop taking it out of our province and maybe using it. Don't bring it in from other provinces. Use our own capacity that we have in our own province because we have a lot.
So as business, are you saying that you feel let down somehow by this?
Yes, I do. I really do. I'm talking small business, I'm talking SMMEs, and I'm going to carry on saying that because it is vitally, vitally important. They are not being used. We get seen as the bought-in city, and we second. We get used from outside, and then when something happens, then, okay, go to Kimberley, now use them. They will bring in tenders, they put in, I'm using an example, let's say air conditioners. They bring in companies from out of town. Then the air conditioner breaks, then all of a sudden Kimberley's number 2. I'm saying we're not second best. We should not be even seen as second best. We are the city of the Northern Cape. We must be seen as first best.
Let's look at the issue of load shedding. I mean, it's been one of the issues that has been a thorn to many in the recent days. Has there been an effect or an impact from load shedding with regards to business?
Load shedding bluntly is killing business, not only in Kimberley and the Northern Cape, I think in the whole country. Load shedding, Eskom bluntly has to get their house in order. They need to sit down, stop taking bonuses, stop doing what they're doing, stop using civil society that we have to pay for all the issues that they are having. And yes, if they continue with the load shedding, business is not going to be able to carry on. Small SMMEs, business, communities, old people, hospitals, you can't go and have 8 hours of load shedding. Then you have to send your people home and you've got to actually pay them because you can't not pay them. So how does business survive 8 hours load shedding, 6 hours load shedding? You've still got to pay, but your people have to go home. You cannot. Residents, community, everybody, load shedding has to be, it was promised we would not have load shedding. And now it's getting worse and worse and worse. Eskom must get their house in order.
Well, thank you very much, Sharon Stein, speaking to us there. She's from the Northern Cape Business Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Of course, saying that while there has been an influx of people, smaller businesses not quite benefiting from that. She says, however, there are some benefits in terms of those who are dealing with hospitality as they have many of those places being booked here. But with regards to local businesses, of course, she says not enough being done to boost them and to boost the economy of the city.
Manqoba, obviously the load shedding issue is a big deal. Do you get the sense that it's overshadowing the ANC celebrations, given the fact that, it is a bit weird to be celebrating when the country is in real trouble?
I think that's one of the big questions that has been posed to the president as well as the deputy president in the past few days by some of our colleagues here at the SABC and also other journalists. It's been a major of concern not only here in the Northern Cape but in the country as a whole, because you recall that promises were made that load shedding will only resume after the 13th of January. So it's been quite a concern here. But just to tell you something that we have observed here is that where we were staying, which is a few kilometers away from here, several kilometers away, we did see load shedding taking place. But the reports that we have been getting here is that there's been very minimal load shedding here in Northern Cape, especially in Kimberley, in the past few days ahead of the ANC's 108th birthday celebrations. In fact, Sharon here next to me is saying that there's been no load shedding at all here in Kimberley. So I guess it speaks to the fact that the president and the country's executive is here in Kimberley, and therefore that's maybe partly why Kimberley has been spared at this point from load shedding. But on any other day, it is a problem like it is for the rest of the country.
Very interesting indeed. Thanks for that, Manqoba.